In today's video, I'll be sharing with you what you need to know about makeup brushes and which ones are going to be essential for somebody that is starting out makeup, you know, as a beginner for the first time, and just what is going to be useful in terms of your makeup brush guide. So it's just a guide on the brushes, and I'm not going to go through all of the brushes. I'm just going to go through the essential guide that you need to know in terms of brushes. Type of Giselle. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you all the makeup brush guide for beginners and just the essential brushes that you need to know when you're starting out makeup for the first time. It is a very overwhelming you know, thing to get used to with the brushes, especially if the kit is a lot, and I found it to be extremely difficult, and I just wanted to know like the essential brushes and not what all of them do, because you know it is a lot to take in for the first time. So I'm just going to be doing like a quick video explaining a few of the brushes that I think are so useful and important for somebody starting out for everyday use and what they're going to be good for. So if you guys want to know more knowledge about brushes, then please make sure to stay tuned and to watch the video. And yeah, so I'm going to be showing you there are about 6 brushes that I personally think are so essential to use for everyday use, and you're definitely going to use these more than one time. The first one is a fan brush, which looks like that, and you can use this for multiple uses. You can use this for a bronzer if you want to contour your face. I normally use this to just angle out and chisel out my cheekbones. It's such a precise brush, and it's very soft as well. The fact that it's angled in a specific way, you're just able to create a definition in your cheekbones, so you might opt out for this. You can also use a fan brush for applying highlighter in larger areas like your cheek area, and also like on your forehead if you do apply on your forehead. So that's what the fan brush is good for. The second brush is a large powder brush that looks like so, and it is super fluffy, so easy to use for pressed powders. And after you've finished baking, I like to use it just to blend in that powder and blend a little like the excess of the powders out of the skin. I find it that because it's such a soft brush, it's super easy to work around with, and really lifts off all the products in terms of your powder off your face, and goes really nicely into your skin super good. So that is a large powder brush. The other brush that I definitely think is such an important brush is this contour brush here, and you can use this for much more smaller areas like your forehead. That's where I like to use it mostly for, and like maybe your chin area as well. So it's super nice, and it's angled again, which makes it easier to get into those for your bronzer as well. You can apply your bronzer with it. If you don't want to use the fan brush because it's too big, you can just use your bronzer with this little angled brush here. Super good. The second brush is this one here. It is like a flat brush, which is super good for applying blush to your cheek area, and it's a flat brush. That's what makes it so good, because it is flat, so it's tapered as well, so you can just get the product really nicely into that area here. So love this as well. You can also use this as well for your foundation. I find using flat brushes for your foundation is so good, because it's flat and because it's tapered, like I said, you can work around it in hard to reach areas, and because it's flat, it's just much more easier to lather the product onto your face without like having, you know, much mistakes and all of that. It's able to hold the foundation so I really like that for this. And you can also use it for your concealer as well underneath your eyes. I would also suggest to use it. So it's makeup brushes can be used for multiple uses. They don't always have to just be used for one specific you know, use. So that's what I really like about makeup. The other brush that I'm going to show you is this brush here, and this is really good for like applying your powder and setting your powder. Love this brush. And also it's also good for if you are highlighting your face and you've got like a loose product, like, you know, shimmery kind of like a bronzy powder, and it's just really good. It holds the shimmer into place and just is perfect for precision. So love this very much. The other thing is this little flat fan brush. You can use this for highlighter. It's mainly used for highlighting, and it's super nice to use. I like to use this on my nose area because that's where I find that it's much more easier to work around with this product and to really blend it out. And I also like to use it on like a little bit of my forehead, sometimes on my chin. So love this brush. I think these brushes for, in terms of the face, that's what you're going to tend to use more often than anything else. So I'm going to move on to showing you guys eyeshadow, the essential eyeshadow brushes. For eyeshadows, this is called an angled brush. You would use this, I tend to use it when I'm applying like a darker color, if I'm doing a cut crease and I want to apply like a darker brownish color. I normally use this because it just really angles the eyeshadow into my crease much more better. And as you can see, the brush is actually angled itself, so it really makes it super easy to hold the eyeshadow in place and just to drag it alongside your crease area and into your crease much more effectively. So love that brush. The second one that I'm going to show you is a tapered brush. It's an eyeshadow tapered brush. These ones, I like to use them again for when I'm placing the eyeshadow. So if I was applying a smoky eye, I would use this on the corners and place it on the corner of my eye and place the eyeshadow there before we get to blending. The next one is a flat eyeshadow brush, and I would use this more on the base of my eyeshadows, applying the eyeshadow base. So that's what I would use because it's a flat brush and it tends to hold the product in, so it won't kind of become messy or like kind of the dust won't go everywhere in terms of the eyeshadow. So I really like to use this on the center of my eyes. The last but not least, for the eyeshadow that's super important, is a blending brush. This one is super fluffy, as you guys can see. It's just so easy to work around into the skin and into your eyeshadows really effectively, and giving you a really nice transition and smooth eye, which is super important when applying eyeshadow. You want to learn on the technique of blending, and having the correct blending brush with soft bristles makes it easier than using a very tough brush, because then the eyeshadows won't blend out. So that is definitely an essential thing to have, and you'll find that the more you have like specific brushes to use for your eyeshadows and don't complicate for yourself, it's just easier to remember, and you find you use those brushes all the time. So those for me are really essential in terms of eyeshadow. I'm going to show you guys the last ones, which is mainly for like eyebrows and, you know, eyelashes, that kind of stuff, and brushing things into place, keeping things. So guys, this is a flat eyebrow brush which you would use mostly for filling out your eyebrows. If you're like me and you have sparse eyebrows, filling them out is such an important and essential thing for your eyebrows just to look decent. So I really like to use a flat brush because it's much more precise. I use pomade, which is like a creamy base, so using a brush that is angled is just easier to get into the product and to place it on my eyebrows and really just kind of create the shape that I want to. So definitely suggest to use an angled eyebrow brush. It just makes your eyebrows look much more neater and nice to look at. The second one is a comb, so it's like a lash comb and an eyebrow comb, so you can use it for your eyebrows. I sometimes use it for my lashes, and this is what it looks like. So there's a comb section on the other end, then there's a brush section on the other end. So I normally just brush up my eyebrows, but if you don't have bushy eyebrows like myself, then you won't need to use it. Maybe you can just use it for your eyelashes. And the comb, it does the same thing, which is just combing your hairs into place. And then this is what they call a spoolie, but you can also use it for as a mascara brush. And this is what it looks like. It actually looks like a mascara brush, and it's good for times when, you know, like especially if you're doing clients' makeup and all of that, and you don't want to be going in with the same brush, you know. Obviously I'd think that you wouldn't use the same mascara as your client, but that's what it's really good for just applying the mascara and all of that. It's also good for brushing your eyebrows in place. It is what they call a spoolie brush or a mascara brush. So really good and essential, and you will use this very often. Last but not least, I'm going to show you guys a concealer brush that you might find useful if you don't want to use a big brush, and then that will be it in terms of our brushes. So these are the concealer brushes that you would definitely benefit using. This one is much more of a flatter concealer brush. So it's very flat, the brush, and it's tapered towards the end as well. So really good for like when you want to draw your, you know, your concealer in place. If you're doing your highlight and contour, you're just able to go into those areas and draw your concealer how you want it. And then this as well is good for like the inner corners of your eyes. I would also use this for underneath my eyebrows when I want to clean them up, so you can really go in there and clean everything nicely, and at the top here. So that's what these two brushes do. So these are concealer brushes. But yeah guys, that is it. That is all the knowledge that I can give you about brushes, and I hope I've made it a little bit easier and a little bit better for someone that's learning how to, you know, use makeup brushes and in this world and doesn't know where to start. If you do want more help or any questions, just leave them in the comment section. I'm always here to answer to you guys and always here to help the best way that I can. I will also list 3 sets of brushes which I think will be so beneficial for everyone's makeup journey. So like for a beginner, for intermediate, and for professional level, I will list all the kits that will be essential for each and every person. So yeah, that is it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah. Bye.